ARGs, alternate reality games. We all know and love them. Classics like Mandela Catalog.
If you see another person that looks identical to you, run away and hide.
Local 58.
Will be on in 300 feet. Your destination in 250 feet. Rerouting. Your destination will be in 50 feet. You will arrive at your destination.
And Gemini Home Entertainment. Have plagued our minds for years. It's almost Halloween, and I think we're going to see a surge of new and fascinating ARGs to dive into, especially with this year's rise of analog horror. Today, we're going to talk about a fairly recently created ARG that I stumbled upon, and the story revolves around murderous jack-o'-lantern?
That's great. You know, it's gonna take a little more than pumpkin seeds and a monologue to spook me.
What about now?
The ARG consists of a YouTube channel, Instagram page, and a website. And before we start looking at the main videos of the ARG, I'm going to shortly go over the stuff outside of the YouTube channel. I haven't noticed anything noteworthy on the Instagram. All that's there is the full version of this image, which is the YouTube banner. 7 tapes, named respectively tape 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and no. There are also, as of now, 2 other images that don't seem to mean anything. The biggest thing I need to mention is the website. At the end of all of the videos, and in the description of the YouTube channel and the Instagram, there's a link to the website, jack-o'-lantern.online. Clicking the link leads to a website that is password locked. I have absolutely no clue what the password is. You do not understand how long I sat staring at this stupid jack-o'-lantern. I tried a total of 267 words that I thought could be the password. I'm guessing as more tapes release, the password will be a combination of all the letters in the description. So far, all we have is C-E-L. So, this is a dead end. Anyways, let's start with the first video. The video starts with the sound of a VHS tape.
Hey guys, welcome back to Henry's Adventures, episode 4.
We hear a kid explain how his friend, nicknamed Bowser, called for him to meet up at a treehouse, and how unsure he is why he was called there. Henry calls to his friend on the walkie-talkie and gets nothing but static in return.
Bowser, this is Pac-Man. Come in 1-2.
Walking through the forest, he hears the sound of something behind him.
Hello?
For a split second, we see the shape of a figure, with words on the screen responding to Henry's call-out. Henry continues through the forest, still receiving nothing but static from his friend.
Bowser, come in, Bowser. I think he's just playing a joke on me.
Henry then calls to his friend by name.
Wyatt, if you're trying to scare me, please stop.
Still believing that his friend is trying to scare him, he continues into the forest to find his friend. Eventually making it to a crossroad, he radios his friend to be reminded which direction to go. Wyatt finally responds. Music begins playing through Henry's walkie-talkie. We see quick flashes on the screen of the same figure asking Henry if he is lost. He continues, and on the ground, he sees Wyatt's walkie-talkie. Henry turns around to see a figure. Henry screams, and the video cuts. A jack-o'-lantern appears on the screen with the statement, "It's funny how they run." We then get our first letter, C. Tape then cuts to a figure. Breathing could be heard in the background. Tape ejects. This video, in my opinion, is the biggest of the 3 in establishing the story. We are introduced to the 2 characters that this ARG is emphasizing so far, Henry and the jack-o'-lantern. I'm pretty sure that's what this guy is, but I could be wrong as his name isn't confirmed, but I think it's safe to assume, based off of the name of the ARG, that this is the jack-o'-lantern. I also think that the video shows how the jack-o'-lantern lures his victims, because I'm pretty sure that whatever responded to Henry was not Wyatt. I think the figure we saw before Henry screamed was not the jack-o'-lantern. At least, not what he actually looks like. Hey guys, Editing Soaks here. It's 3 in the morning, and I just realized that that looks a lot like what I showed in the clip from the trailer at the start. So I might just be wrong there, but I don't. The video starts with a computer boot up screen. A company name and logo appears on the screen. Orchard Enterprises. The computer's user opens up a file simply named Bearbrook. He then opens tape 2. Tape 2 is a video of someone flipping through children's safety broadcasts, some occurring multiple times. The first of which I'm going to talk about includes the best fictional character of all time, Peter Pumpkin.
Hey kids, here comes Peter Pumpkin.
Peter Pumpkin is a program that explains steps to keep children safe on Halloween. He says that parents should set a curfew for kids, and kids should always carry a flashlight. That didn't work out too well for Henry, though. Another broadcast is one we see very little of, but it seems a little weird. We first see a face, which is quickly covered by a visual of flames. The narrator explains how children should not be left alone in the house.
Don't leave children alone in the house.
And there's nothing else. It only appears twice, and that's the only line said. The next and most out of place one is a clock tower flying a Canadian flag with the Canadian national anthem playing in the background. I'm honestly blanking on what it could mean in terms of story, but after the anthem ends, a missing screen is shown with the name Henry Thompson. This broadcast bears extreme resemblance to the Joanna Lopez case. I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically, a news station was wrapping up its night showings when it then showed a military rendition of the American national anthem seemingly out of nowhere. After the anthem ended, a missing screen is shown, showing a poor quality black and white picture of this girl, Joanna Lopez. And 2 years later, almost the exact same thing happened. The missing screen gave no information other than that picture of the girl and a tip hotline to call. Interestingly, the phone number shown on Henry's missing screen is the same as the one shown on the Joanna Lopez screen. Doing a minimal amount of research, I saw that the phone number is a decommissioned phone number that used to go to the missing use division of the Chicago Police Department. So no, I haven't called it. I don't recommend that you do either. Chill Fuel has a great breakdown of the Joanna Lopez case if you're interested. But it was interesting to me that the creator chose to mimic this event. The last broadcast feature that I'm going to talk about is one of an animated jack-o'-lantern.
That's me, a jack-o'-lantern.
What he says isn't very interesting. It's what plays after that I'm going to focus on.
It's a nice and scary time, isn't it?
Someone is running through a metal tunnel. We hear a cackle. The person running turns around and then unauthorized access. I don't know what's prohibiting the user from seeing the rest of the video, but it freaks them out enough to close the file and shut down the computer. Tape 2 seems to introduce us to a company known only as Orchard Enterprises. As with most things, there isn't an obvious answer to what the company is, other than that they seem to be the only company with access to these tapes. Maybe they're running research on the killer, maybe they're the reason he exists in the first place. Tape 2 also confirms that what happened with Henry did in fact end with him going missing. There's no way to know what actually happened to him yet, but I think the most obvious answer is the truth. The tape begins from the 30-second mark. The person holding the camera sweeps around the mall, convenience store, hospital maybe? I really don't know what this building is. And we hear loud footsteps stunning in the background. The plodding figure screeches. This tells me that the jack-o'-lantern is obviously not human, or at the very least, not human anymore. All of that does imply that it is the jack-o'-lantern chasing him. There's no way to know for sure. Text then flashes on the screen that simply asks, "Would you?" The cameraman takes cover behind a pillar as voices whisper in his ear. I couldn't really make out if they were saying anything, even in reverse. More text flashes on the screen, this time asking, "Could you?" The monster continues thudding down the hallway as the cameraman makes his way to the back of the room. More text appears saying, "Help me." This reminds me of something that I didn't mention from tape 2. Towards the beginning of the tape, we see the statement, "Let me out." I do think that this could be the same thing attempting to communicate between two tapes. But yet again, another unsolved mystery. Then, as the man reaches the next room, the video cuts. Again, it's hard to make out exactly what this room is. The line of chairs outside, as well as the typewriter, reminds me of like a school's counselor or nurse's office. Now that I think about it, a lot of stuff in this big room reminds me of a school cafeteria. Big stretch though. After the video cuts, we see the weird figure from tape 1, as well as the missing image for Henry from tape 2, and they both flash for a quick second. Then, the jack-o'-lantern comes back. Interesting. You made it inside. Welcome back. We then get the third, and as of now, final letter. L. Now, it's hard to put together a story solely based off the information in the ARG itself and the fact that I still haven't been able to brute force my way into the website. So, I think it's time to look outside of the ARG and mention the creator, Yourself Productions, a talented vlogger and short film creator. This ARG is meant to serve as a prologue to a movie that is set to release on or around Halloween. And with the help of the trailer, I think that I have a decent outline of the story. I am, however, going to leave it to you to theorize the story for yourself. I strongly encourage you to give the tapes a watch. Based on the previous release dates, new tapes release every Friday about 4 to 6 p.m. CST. So I encourage you to at least check back in on the ARG around that time. I might even make a video on the rest of the ARG when it's over. And by then, I'm sure the movie will answer all my questions. Surprise! Editing sucks again. So while I was making this video, I got caught up with live stuff halfway through editing, and tape 4 and 5 has come out by now, and maybe even 6, honestly, with how it's looking now. But keep in mind that this video was made with only the knowledge of the first 3 tapes, and I was gonna do a breakdown of the 4th tape and maybe even the 5th tape, but then I thought, what was the point of breaking down all these tapes and leaving you with nothing to discover for yourself? So go watch tape 4 after this video, dissect it yourself, and there's also a lot more images on the Instagram page, and I want to know what you find. So I made a Discord server based off of this ARG, and there should be a link in the description. So join it and tell me what you find. If you're here, congratulations. You finished this video that I worked very hard on, and I appreciate it so much. Please show your support to Yourself Productions. He seems like a great guy who's passionate about what he does, and I admire him for that. He was very helpful. I want to thank him for letting me make this video in the first place. And with all that said, I hope I made you want to follow along with this ARG and see where it and the movie ends up. I know I will. Happy almost Halloween, and goodbye.